Hi, my name is Forrest, and welcome back to the storyboard. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the Asari, and we're going to talk about their military, their government, and more of their culture. Let's get started. After the Protheans disappeared roughly 50,000 years ago, the Asari were the next race to make their way through the stars of the Milky Way. They were the first race to rediscover the Citadel, and they were the ones who came up with the idea to form a galactic council after they made first contact with the Solarians. To this day, this head start in galactic exploration has given the Asari an edge over other species. But they were also given an edge by the environment they evolved in. The Asari hail from a planet known as Thessia, a world naturally abundant with element zero. As a result, a lot of life native to Thessia, Asari included, have gained latent biotic abilities, which explains why almost every Asari you run into while playing the Mass Effect games can use biotics. Because they and their partners share literally everything during a melding, the Asari have become an incredibly open people, an aspect of their people that has trickled into almost every part of their government, religion, and culture. Instead of clinging to xenophobia or racism as other races have, the Asari welcome new peoples to the galactic stage, knowing that they'll have something new that they can learn from. Even in the pre-spaceflight phase of their race, the Asari wouldn't hoard resources or war over differing ideologies. They instead traded their goods and philosophies freely, hoping that they would better understand one another. Interestingly, the Asari do not have one massive, all-encompassing government or leader like the Systems Alliance does. Instead, their worlds are dotted with hundreds of individual sovereignties, known collectively as the Asari Republics. A governmental structure similar to Earth's ancient Mediterranean city-states like Athens, Sparta, and Carthage. Other than their council representative, the Asari have no politicians, or even elections, but any Asari can participate in their government at will. Debates are held around the clock, and official online forums have evolved into a sort of electronic democracy. Additionally, a direct vote can be brought up on any policy at any time. Their military is equally fragmented, with no overarching banner that collects every unit, or platoon, or whatever. Each city or community instead forms their own militia, but I use that word with great hesitation because I couldn't think of a better one. Do not mistake these Asari units for untrained amateurs. Those who join these militias are full-time professionals who dedicate decades of their lives to weapons training and martial arts. One-on-one, these fully trained and equipped huntresses are deadly and nigh unbeatable because of their grace and flexibility, but they trade durability and heavy weapons and armor for this agility. As a result, though these units couldn't stand up to combat in traditional defensive wars, they are some of the best spies, infiltrators, and assassins in the galaxy. A lot of the first Spectres were such huntresses. Despite having such incredibly splintered ground forces, the Asari have one of the largest navies in the galaxy, with 21 dreadnoughts at the beginning of Mass Effect 1. One such dreadnought, the Destiny Ascension, is the largest and most powerful ship of any Citadel race, and it acts as the flagship for the Citadel fleet. In addition to these dreadnoughts, the Asari use hundreds of fighters and frigates and swarm-like hit-and-run tactics. If you don't remember, last time I mentioned that the Asari have incredibly long lifespans, often living to the ripe old age of 1,000. I briefly explored how this shaped their culture, but I don't think I put enough emphasis on just how much this has shaped them as a people. I mean, seriously, if every human lived to be 1,000 years old, we'd be very different beasts. They don't have traditional governments or militaries because they prefer peacetime, where they can grow and expand their borders. They have the largest economy in the galaxy because they have time to sow and reap the benefits of extensive business contacts. Even their view of death is colored by the lens of their lives. Instead of dreading the potential centuries without their loved ones as they pass away, they instead cherish what time they have together. This, in my opinion, fairly optimistic view of life also shows in Ciari, the race's most popular religion. Ciarists believe that the universe is not some static, lifeless thing, but instead a living, breathing consciousness. They say that every soul in the universe is connected, a single part of a greater whole, and that when something dies, its spirit returns to the universe to be reused in new life. Now, you might confuse this concept with something like reincarnation, but they're not quite the same. The Siari idea is more like when something organic passes away. Its body is decomposed, but then its basic parts are reused by nature to create something new. Circle of life, baby. Though the Siari doctrine has become the species' most mainstream religion, bits and pieces from their past beliefs live on to this day, the most prominent being the Asari goddess Athame. In Asari mythology, Athame and her helpers Lucin and Janiri came to Thessia and enlightened ancient Asari, teaching them mathematics and medicine and astronomy and agriculture, and even protecting them from angry gods and angels. Despite falling out of favor with religious Asari, Athame, her name, and her title have all permanently entered the species' vernacular. Goddess, or by the goddess, are two common Asari swears that could be likened to something like, "Oh my god!" or "Jesus Christ!" But do you know what the most interesting thing about Athame is? Is that the legend is pretty much entirely true, but not in the mythological black and white sense you're probably thinking. Just over 50,000 years ago, the Protheans visited Thessia and found the ancient Asari. They saw great potential in the species and started imparting gifts on the fledgling people. Gifts like star charts, and medical technology, and agricultural secrets, and yes, even biotic technology. They also protected Thessia from other races that would have picked the planet clean of resources. Also, you know that super important, incredibly culturally significant temple they had to Athame on Thessia? The one with the giant Athame statue that I showed earlier in this video, and that you visit in Mass Effect 3? The giant statue actually holds a Prothean beacon, which is a sort of memory drives that holds memories or visions instead of JPEGs or AVIs. The Asari have managed to stay on top of the galactic political game because they've had more than a bit of help. As Garrus Vakarian says, if the Asari could use that beacon to make a breakthrough every couple hundred years or so, they'd practically be running the galaxy, which they pretty much do. Okay, we're out of spoiler territory now. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for the Asari. They are a super interesting race and one of my favorites in the Mass Effect universe. But one quick note before I wrap up here. I don't want you to come away from this thinking that everything that I just described about the Asari is a positive thing. From our race's point of view, the Asari are super conservative and ultra pro-establishment. And they are very reluctant to any sort of major or even quick change. Where the Asari like to take their time to decide political action, the rest of the galaxy sees a frustratingly slow bureaucracy. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's really not. Next time we're talking about the second council race, the Solarians. Hopefully it won't take 2 episodes, but no promises. We'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I really do hope you like these videos as much as I enjoy making them. But I have to make a little change. After coming back from my little sickness hiatus and getting back into the groove of things, I just don't think I can make one of these videos twice weekly and have them be up to the standard of quality I'm setting for myself. These videos have pretty much consumed all of my time since I started making them. Like, seriously. I literally sat at my computer for 12 hours working on this video, getting the footage I need, editing, yada yada. There are so many other things that I want to make for this channel, and it just doesn't work with the constant 2 video a week schedule. These lore videos will now be released every Thursday, but I hope I'll be able to release a second episode a week every now and then. I'd love to make promises, but I don't want to disappoint myself or anyone else. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on Thursday.